Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jonathan Edelheit and from the Employer Healthcare and Benefits Congress, and thanks for joining us for our live webcast today on learning LinkedIn secrets to social media success. We have two other co-panelists with us today. We have a good friend of mine, Keneally from LinkedIn, who is a sales evangelist, and we'll call him a LinkedIn Jedi. He's really excellent. He's always specialized in his LinkedIn is in the employee benefits space, helping organizations understand, really kind of maximize and use LinkedIn and the success that it has. So we're excited to have him join us today for our webcast. And then we also have Jenny Dodson, who is the manager of the Employer Healthcare and Benefits Congress, and she'll be helping close out our session today with some Q&A. I'm going to unfortunately have to jump off a little early. I'm doing a live feed with Huffington Post today at 2 o'clock, so if this webcast ends by then, feel free to go to Huffington Post to watch me on there. One of the things that I think that everyone realizes in the industry, whether you're an employer, an insurance company, an insurance agent, is, everything is going social. If you're an insurance company or a broker or agent, you need to communicate with your clients and prospects through social media. That's how you're going to develop business relationships. If you're an employer, you're an HR, it's a great way to really connect with, vendors, partners, new people you might want to work with, new hires. It's really a great, I think, an amazing tool for career advancement and finding new opportunities, but it's really the most powerful tool. And really everything is changing in it. And the reality that we have today, too, is I call it the white noise challenge. So it's impossible to get a hold of anyone today. No one really answers the phone. We're swamped with emails, with business, with personal. And if you're actually, an insurance agent or carrier or vendor trying to prospect, is cold calling really doesn't work anymore. And so how do you get your message across? And this could be the same message if you're an employer saying, how do I connect with my employees in a different way when they're busy with everything that they're doing? And the white noise challenge is that, not only are we all busy, but, if you're using this social media as a tool to market, is the traditional advertising is dead. Advertising on the radio and newspaper and magazine, it's, people aren't paying attention to it anymore. And the reality is what people are paying attention to is social media. And within that aspect of social media, if you look at, is it, personal social media or consumer social media, that's where you're using Facebook or Instagram or, Twitter. But the reality is, if it's B2B, the only site out there that is the B2B site is LinkedIn, and it's one of the most powerful tools. And you're using it, for marketing purposes. The new rules of marketing is, how do you keep people engaged? How do you develop business? How do you build your brand? How do you connect with people? How do you create long-lasting relationships? And how do you create stickiness? And I'm a big believer that, LinkedIn is one of those major areas that you can do that in. And you have to continually provide fresh dialogue. You have to find new mediums to really communicate with people, and you gotta be a thought leader. You can't just spew sales anymore or just tell people why you're great. We have had a tremendous success, and with social media and LinkedIn, and I'm a huge proponent of LinkedIn, because we're one of the largest social media influencers in the world. And a lot of people don't even know that, but, we manage now, I think we're up to like 600,000 members on LinkedIn in about 30 different groups. And we have found LinkedIn to be one of the most powerful tools to deliver education, deliver thought leadership, and to connect with people. So, to give you an example of what we did, is it's a lot of companies focus on their company page, follow the company page, and I think that's that's good, and you got to have that, and we do that too. But we focused on a strategy years ago about creating groups and niche topics where everyone's going to come for their news and information. And one of the fascinating things that I don't think I have it in my PowerPoint is we did a survey of the industry, and we actually found HR and insurance professionals are getting their news from LinkedIn almost 2 to 3 times more than traditional media and in the trade media from the industry that they're in, and that they're choosing products and services in it. So we run the big corporate wellness group with almost 35,000 members. We run the luxury hotel group with about 215,000. HR Professionals Association, 212,000. So we're more influential than even SHRM. On the HR side, we run the healthcare reform group with close to 35,000 people. The benefits health and welfare professional, which is benefits executives, with about 31,000. And there's about 30 other groups. And we do a lot of education through our magazines, through webcasts and white papers. And, many of you come to our conference. Chris and I did a great panel session last year on the power of LinkedIn at the EHBC, which this year is September 27th through the 30th. And when you're if you're using LinkedIn for marketing, it's what kind of marketing leader are you? Are you going to be the guy, the lion that goes out there and really finds opportunities and takes it? Or are you going to be the lemming? And one of the things, before I really turn it over for Chris for his presentation, is one of the coolest things, and why we're going to be doing a lot more education with Chris to you guys, is, what I found with using LinkedIn is it's, once you connect with someone, there's a connection with that person. And there's a relationship that, can't be defined in the normal way. And Chris might be able to talk a little bit about that, but it's almost like you're a friend or business colleague. And the other part is you can find people that you never even knew existed. Where, you could spend months trying to find someone, to get to someone, and instantly find them on LinkedIn and connect with them. And I think the most powerful part is the ability to be a thought leader and to contribute very specific content at the right time and the right way on LinkedIn that makes other people see you as a thought leader and kind of want to connect in with you. And it's very powerful because we'll see in some of our groups, like our healthcare reform group, we'll see someone post news 2 to 3 days before it hits CNN and Fox News. And then everyone's discussing it, everyone's debating it, you're getting both sides of it. So it's becoming this amazing resource and platform where everyone's coming to discuss things and to get new ideas. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to the LinkedIn Jedi, Chris, for him to really talk about how you can increase your professional brand. And his presentation is also really important because I think a lot of people don't know the best practices of how do you promote yourself, how do you deal with your profile, all these things. And Chris is going to shed some light on that for you. So over to you, Chris.
Hey, Jonathan, thank you very much. And people at LinkedIn would probably call me Chewbacca rather than a Jedi because I am 6'7", about 280. But I wanted to thank you for having me here. Certainly being down in D.C. last year was great, being on that panel. And I got a lot of really good feedback from people that attended the session. And, today I want to talk about how you as an individual can increase your professional brand, as well as building a high-value network on LinkedIn. In looking at the agenda, Chris Keneally, I've been at LinkedIn for 2 years, and I've had the opportunity in the last 2 years to work with a lot of organizations in the financial services space to help them be better professionals. And, taking their LinkedIn profile and going from a resume to a reputation. So we're going to talk about what does a professional brand mean. We're going to talk about some of the things on how you can enhance your professional brand, the components of a strong LinkedIn profile, building out a high-value network on LinkedIn, and also some best practices on inviting to connect. These are some of the things that you should be doing every single time. And I think I'll be able to share my screen as we get to the end, because I want to show you, some of the things that you should definitely not do. But let's start out. Everyone can see the LinkedIn profile on the left. That is a resume, and a poor one at that. You see there's no picture, there's no summary. The experience is very limited as to what that person actually does. That's kind of what my LinkedIn profile looked like when I got to LinkedIn 2 years ago, except I had a picture. And I had a little bit more information filled out in the experience section, and my summary was pretty much the company blurb. And my boss came to me and said, Chris, going to have to tell you something. Your profile sucks. And if we don't do something about it, you're not going to be able to work for me because we're here at LinkedIn to help people increase their professional visibility and put their stamp on their LinkedIn presence. So what we did was created a program called Resume to Reputation, taking your LinkedIn profile. And let's be honest, years ago, LinkedIn actually prompted you to put in your resume, and it would import the different portions of your resume into your LinkedIn profile. So we actually facilitated the resume portion of your LinkedIn profile. But now it's about turning your LinkedIn profile into your reputation. How do you want to be viewed by your peers, your customers, your prospects, people coming to visit your profile? It's about showing people that you can bring value to them, and how are you going to do that? By showing that you actually care about what your digital footprint looks like on LinkedIn. So how do we enhance our professional brand? There's a couple of different ways. Through content creation, LinkedIn has a publisher platform where each LinkedIn member has the ability to write long-form content. Thought leadership, participating in groups, starting your own group. Obviously Jonathan's organization has over 30 groups with over 600,000 members. I mean, being able to contribute thought leadership to over 600,000 people makes them the leader in this space. You also sharing of content on LinkedIn from your news feed and LinkedIn Pulse, engaging your network and the people that you're directly connected to, liking, commenting, resharing of your own company content, and also adding rich media to your profile helps build your professional brand. So we're going to go through each one of these different components. Content creation. This is actually a post that I published yesterday on LinkedIn. And it says, brand you, the importance of your professional brand on LinkedIn. Don't be another face in the crowd. Build your professional brand. And I guess it was about 12 hours, I had 275 views, 32 likes, and 2 comments in less than 12 hours. I've had 55 people view my profile in those 12 hours. Now, if you go to my LinkedIn profile, I would say that I have a pretty damn good LinkedIn profile. And this is just enhancing my brand because now I'm out here teaching other people how to enhance their professional brand. And it's quite fitting that I published this yesterday, and it wasn't intentional, I promise you, but it works very nicely. And we're also going to touch on the four items about what I published yesterday. Participating in LinkedIn groups. This is a great way to help build thought leadership and segregate yourself as an expert in your field. The easiest way to get to LinkedIn groups is on your top bar, go to interests, and then click on LinkedIn groups. It'll show the LinkedIn groups that you're already a part of. It'll show the discussions that have been started in those groups. You can click on a particular group to see the members, search through the members. You're already connected, so to speak, as you're both a part of that group. Now finding individuals in that group that might be able to help you professionally, invite those people to connect. Also, the box that you see highlighted in red, if you don't see the group that you're looking for, you can click Find a Group and type in some keywords for the type of group you're looking for, or you can create a group. Now, I've worked with a lot of financial advisors, people in the insurance space, on the commercial side of the business, as well as the employee benefits portion of the business. And a lot of them are finding that by creating a group for a niche that they have is a great way to start expanding their professional brand. One gentleman in particular was in Boston. He's been in the life insurance and financial advisory business for about 2 years, and he found that he got through all of his warm connections very quickly, and he's been struggling quite a bit. And I mentioned to him, well, where are you from? He said, South Africa. How long have you been in the United States? 10 years. I said, well, why don't you create a group for expat South Africans in Boston? And within 2 months, he had 150 people joining his group of expat South Africans in his group. And out of those 150 people, he closed 10 of them as clients and received over 200 referrals from that group. So he expanded his business by starting a group that was a niche for him and is continuing to work that LinkedIn group that he created. It's a great way also to direct the conversation where you want to instead of just participating in a discussion. Sharing content from your LinkedIn newsfeed and LinkedIn Pulse. On the left-hand side, you see that this is just a screenshot from my newsfeed. It's not all that odd to realize that the majority of the views, comments, shares, and likes of content that's shared on LinkedIn are these memes that go out pretty much daily. In the red box, you see like, comment, or share. This is your opportunity to engage your network. You can like it, comment, or share it. It'll go into your news feed. When you do reshare it, now you have the opportunity to put your comments in it and put your different spin on what you want to say about that piece. You can also go to LinkedIn Pulse. When you go to your LinkedIn news feed, you can click LinkedIn Pulse, and it'll pull up articles from different sectors. So maybe technology, healthcare, business, and then you can go ahead and look at the different articles that are in those different subjects, find one that's pertinent to you, and then reshare it to your network. Now, for those of you who don't know how to share a piece of content, on your profile, as you can see here, Chris Keneally, it says share an update, upload a photo, or publish a post. You click on share an update, you copy and paste the link to the article that you want to share. It'll populate in that box there, and then you can share it out to your LinkedIn as well as your Twitter in one click of a button. Another way to increase your professional brand is to enhance your profile with YouTube videos, PDFs, and SlideShare documents. When you go in to edit your profile, you have the opportunity in Experience or in your summary to add a file. These are just items that, PDFs of what your company does and your offering, maybe a product sheet. You can see here I have 3 items. I actually have a PDF, I have a SlideShare presentation, as well as a YouTube video. The YouTube video was something we created for Guardian Life. They've had a lot of success. We used one of my very good friends as the object of the video. And it just talks about, what we do as an organization, how we're helping companies like Guardian expand their social presence and help their advisors to become more efficient and successful in using LinkedIn. But for me, this is in my experience because this is what I do. So I wanted to get to probably the most important part of enhancing your professional brand, and that's talking about the different components of a strong LinkedIn profile. And first and foremost is the professional headshot. Have it in a neutral background with professional attire, and you're 14 times more likely to be viewed with a photo than without. So what kind of first impression do you want to make? When somebody goes to look at your LinkedIn profile, do you want them to see a silhouette? Do you want them to see a picture of you with your dog, or a cropped photo of you at a wedding, maybe holding a drink? Or do you want to see a professional headshot with a neutral background? The second one is your headline. You have 120 characters. Use all of them to differentiate yourself from everyone else that is doing what you do. This is not your job title. This is your opportunity to change the perception of what you do. Number 3, your summary. This is your elevator pitch. This is your opportunity to talk about yourself, but please write it in the first person. Tell people why you do what you do. Talk about your passions that you bring to the job that you do, and hopefully the job that you love. How are you going to bring value to the people viewing your profile? If they're prospects or existing clients and you're trying to expand the business inside that organization. You also want to make it personal. Talk about what you do outside of work. Just a few things. When I'm not working, I like spending time with my family. In the winter, I like to ski. In the summer, I like to golf. Make it personal, because ultimately, people are going to be buying not only just the services, but they're buying you. And not in like a weird way, but they want to know that they have a connection with you. I said that once before, and some people got really angry. So I was talking about, buying and selling of people. But they are buying you, and they have to buy into who you are as a person. And from an insurance standpoint, they want to be able to trust you. You are their trusted advisor. And how are you going to build a relationship with someone if they don't know anything about you? Also, one of the last lines of your summary should be a call to action. Now, if you're in a sales role, we'll get to this, putting contact information in your contact info section. Also, this call to action should be something like, if you're interested in learning more about what I do and how I might be able to assist you, please email me at or call me at. If they're interested, they will call you or they will email you. If you don't have that information on your profile, they will find someone that does have that information on their profile. And the fourth component of a strong LinkedIn profile is your experience. Talk about your day-to-day job. What can people expect when working with you? Again, talk about the value that you can bring to them. This is where you can have that information about your company, the About Us section. XYZ company was founded in 1935 and does XYZ for its clients. This is your opportunity to start showing that you can bring value to people, and when they look at your profile, they say, wow, this person has their stuff together. This person can bring value to me, and I want to work with this kind of person. So now that we have the written components of a strong LinkedIn profile, we're going to look at some pictures. The picture on the left, do not have that as your LinkedIn profile picture. Unfortunately, I came across this man's profile yesterday, and I had to send him a note that he had to change that. He has yet to do so. Picture on the right, that's the kind of LinkedIn profile picture you want to have. Headline. Unfortunately for Ryan, that was his good LinkedIn profile picture, but bad LinkedIn headline. He's a real estate broker and general contractor. Boring. Dan Swift, business leader, keynote speaker, social media, disruptive technologies. Tell me that isn't something that doesn't stand out to you. That if you were looking for someone to come out and speak for you, or you're looking for someone that can help you with social media, that isn't the kind of person that you wouldn't reach out to first. He differentiates himself from every other person that might be a speaker or is involved in social media. Someone else in social media might have social media manager at XYZ organization. 120 characters, use all of them. Your summary. You know, we talked about making this first person, and I don't know how legible that is on the screen for everyone, but you can see that this person's profile summary says relationship builder, sales professional, social selling fanatic, food enthusiast, and animal lover. In my career, I have been, as a sales professional, leveraging the power of LinkedIn has enabled me. True sales success for me. She's personalized it. She made it about her, but gives you the opportunity to get to know who she is. And then finally, please reach out to me if you have specific questions regarding social selling or LinkedIn sales solutions. It's right there in front of you. Now, she didn't put her email address or telephone number in, but I do know for a fact when I looked at this profile to use for this section that she did have that contact information not only in her contact info section up top, but also at the bottom of her profile, advice for contacting Lauren. You see the difference of a summary and of how it should be written. It's very personal. It talks about her role, what she does, how she brings value to people. Experience. This is the experience section of my good friend who's in the video for Guardian Life. He's the manager of social enablement and digital marketing. Now, his headline does not say manager social enablement and digital marketing because this is his job title. He oversees the implementation of overall social media strategies for Guardian's financial representatives and social media content creation. That's what he does. And now he talks about his day-to-day, that he continues to work closely with legal and compliance. He talks about the different aspects of his job. And once again, he's now created a little bit more of a brand for himself. And thankfully, he put on the LinkedIn Sales Navigator for the mobile customer on his profile, which kind of helps me out. So before we hop on to the next section of building a high-value network, I just want to ensure that the folks that are on this call, when you get off of it, you take some advice from me in building out your profile. Headshot, if you don't have one or you don't feel like you have a professional one, get that taken care of. Stand in front of a wall, have a friend take it with an iPhone, and upload the new photo. Headline, summary, and experience. And if you're in sales and you don't have contact information on your LinkedIn profile, you are doing yourself a disservice. If someone likes what they see on your LinkedIn profile, how are they going to get in touch with you? Make it easy for people to reach out to you. There's nothing better than an inbound lead. Ask them, where did you get my telephone number? I got it from your LinkedIn profile. Those are stories you can share with your peers and say, hey, I had 3 people call me this week to do business with us. Get into a competition with the people you work with. I'd be more than happy to be a judge for the best LinkedIn profile. So let's talk about your network. Building a high-value network. What does that really mean? When I got to LinkedIn, I had about 700 connections. And I quickly realized that about 400 of them meant absolutely nothing to me in my new current role at LinkedIn. They were either people that couldn't help me professionally, I couldn't help them professionally, or I didn't know who they were. So what I did was I broke up with them on LinkedIn. I went into their profile. I removed the connection. They weren't notified. I didn't have to take anybody to dinner and do it in a restaurant, so there was no scene. They're not notified. It's about ensuring that your network is valuable to you. And that means don't connect with a lot of your coworkers. Don't connect with a lot of your friends unless they have good professional contacts. Connect with people that can help you achieve your professional goals. Please, please, please connect with your existing clients. Connect with your prospects. Connect with centers of influence that can help drive business to you. Now, I hear all the time people say, well, you know, I don't really know this person, and, you know, I don't know if I should connect with, you know, this accountant or this financial advisor. You know, do it. Give them a reason why. Don't connect, like I said, with your coworkers or people that you would be competing with, other people in the industry. You know, connect with them on Facebook. Be friends with them on Facebook. Don't let them see what you're doing on LinkedIn, because they might start copying what you're doing and take potential business away from you. And the easiest way to build a high-value network is connecting with alumni from your college or university. On the top of your LinkedIn page, it'll say connections, and then find alumni. When you click on that, it'll take you to your page of the university or college that you listed on your LinkedIn profile for education. Now, you'll probably be astounded as to how many people are actually on LinkedIn that went to that college or university that you attended. For me, I went to the University of Rhode Island. Probably, I think the enrollment is 10,000, 8,000, 10,000 people. But there are 52,000 alumni on LinkedIn. I'm connected to 165 of them. Why? Because those people can help me achieve my professional goals. We actually have 6 employees at LinkedIn that went to the University of Rhode Island. We have about 300 that went to USC, which I find awfully odd, but that's okay. In that section on your alumni page, you can filter where they live, where they work, what they do, what they studied, what your connection level is, first degree, second degree, third degree. It really doesn't matter what degree connection you have, second or third degree. A common connection doesn't really mean much because you already have a commonality with those people. You went to the same college. When you send an invitation to connect, mention that you went to the same university. Now, the 165 people from the University of Rhode Island that I'm connected to, I probably knew 35 to 40 of them. The other people that I invited to connect, every single one of my invitations to connect to alumni answered and said yes. I've never had somebody say no. That alumni connection is so strong, you might find new centers of influence that can help drive business to you. You might find that the CFO or the HR manager of an organization that you're prospecting to went to your same college or university. Leverage those relationships. Leverage that information to help build a highly valuable network for yourself. Now, I mentioned this before, and I'm going to say this, and I say it every day. Every day I talk to new people. This is the one message that I put out there. Cardinal sin number 1 on LinkedIn is not having a photo. Having a silhouette or having a really bad photo is cardinal sin number 1. Cardinal sin number 2 is not personalizing your invitation to connect. Now, LinkedIn has made it a little bit harder for you to send a personalized invitation to connect. We used to, when you click connect, populate a box that said, how do you know this person? Went to school with them, as a friend, colleague, or other. And then if you didn't have any of those connections, you'd have to put in their email address. But it gave you the opportunity to personalize that invitation. Now you have to go maybe 3 inches to the right of that connect button, and there's a little drop-down menu where it says personalized invitation. Put in, Robin, we met at a networking event last week and talked about the upcoming challenges to the social media policies for FINRA and SEC regulated companies. I'd like to add you to my LinkedIn network. Regards. Send invitation. It just shows that you cared enough and you're not doing a mass connect. It also refreshes the memory of that person you're inviting to connect on how you know them. Send an invitation. That is oh so important in this ecosystem that we're building at LinkedIn. We're doing so much education to the membership on best practices, on how to ensure that the connections that we have are strong and that our networks are strong. I'm not a fan at all of the LinkedIn open networkers, the lions. I feel like they just are about the number of connections, not about the quality of their connections. And I mentioned that I had 700 connections. I went down to 300 connections within 2 months. I'm now back up to, I was up to 1,900 about a week ago, and I just cleaned out another 200. So I'm now down to 1,700 connections. But those 1,700 are extremely valuable to me. So your network on LinkedIn is your digital Rolodex. It's the type of people that you can reach out to and ask for introductions to. And you also want to be a source of introductions for the people you're connected to. So what I'm going to do at this point is go to the next slide, and Jenny has been so kind to populate a question. Is it acceptable to connect with persons you do not know via LinkedIn? Why or why not? It is totally acceptable to connect with persons you do not know via LinkedIn. And the reason why is this is a professional networking site. It doesn't mean you have to know everyone. You just have to give them a good enough reason to why they should connect with you. Now, when I was in the insurance business years ago, I connected with a lot of centers of influence, a lot of people that I didn't know, but I gave them a good enough reason why they should be a part of my network and why they should want to be a part of mine. I think I said that right. I think everyone knows what I meant. Once again, it's going back to the personalized, the invitation to connect. Whether you met them at a networking event, at a conference, they dropped a business card at your booth, or you picked up a business card from their booth, or you just went through the search functionality on LinkedIn. Personalizing the invitation to connect will give them an idea of why you want to connect, who you are. It'll prompt them to look at your LinkedIn profile. And chances are, and I don't have any hard data or facts on it, but I would have to say that 9 times out of 10, if you personalize an invitation to connect and you gave a strong enough reason on why you wanted to be connected to that person, that you'll get it. Generic invitation to connect to someone you don't know, probably 2 out of 10 or 3 out of 10 will accept that invitation. Now, some people may write back and say, why do you want to be connected to me? Now you can reply back and let them know why, but let's get ahead of that and let's start proactively inviting people to connect with a personalized invitation. Question number 2, how can I use social meeting to entice prospects? Now, I think that might be social media. Yes, Jenny? You're muted. Jenny's muted, but I'm going to go with, I think it's social media. So, how can I use social media to entice prospects? What you want to do is ensure that you're connected to your prospects. What you want to do is engage your prospects on LinkedIn. If they're sharing content, like it or comment on it. This will give you the ability to start building a relationship with them without actually contacting them, emailing them or calling them. So once they start to see that you've commented or liked their post on LinkedIn, now you can engage them in a conversation. It's all about relationship building. Certainly if you're commenting and liking, don't be a LinkedIn stalker and like and comment on every piece. That could get a little creepy, but chances are they're going to look at your LinkedIn profile. Great opportunity for you to reach out to them. After they've looked at your LinkedIn profile, mention, hey, I noticed you've been posting a lot of really great content on LinkedIn. I also noticed that you looked at my LinkedIn profile. Was there something about what I do that I might be able to help you with? They've done some heavy lifting for you by looking at your LinkedIn profile. Now reach out to them in an extremely non-salesy way and say, is there something I can help you with? I've used that tactic probably 100 times. I've closed business off of it probably somewhere around 20 to 25 times. And that was C-suite individuals at organizations that I've been prospecting to. They see my profile. They see the types of companies that I'm working with, and they want to know more. They want to learn more.
Chris, quick follow-up question to that first question. This is Jenny Dodson. Can people get in trouble for trying to request connection with people on LinkedIn that they've searched and discovered through the advanced search feature? And should they do that? Is that a best practice so they can connect? That was one of the questions that just came through.
So searching for people through advanced search and identifying the right type of person you want to speak to, inviting someone to connect, you can't get in trouble if you personalize your invitation. If you're going to send a generic invitation to all the people you're trying to connect with and you don't know them, they're going to hit, I don't know this person, I don't know this person. And after, I don't know what the set number is. Once you hit a certain threshold, LinkedIn is going to blackball you from inviting people to connect unless you know their email address. I was actually on that list before I got to LinkedIn. And I actually had to have somebody in our ops team take me off that list when I started. But yes, it can happen. Typically, it's with people that don't know the best practices. And, we have 147 people on here that now do know that best practice. So I hope I don't get an email saying, hey, Chris, I was on the webcast, and I'm now blackballed from inviting people to connect. Can you help me out? I will help you out, but please don't do it.
Thank you for that clarification.
Sure. So what are the top 3 things people view first on your LinkedIn account? So we actually did a visual graph study where they measured where the eyes went when they looked at a LinkedIn profile. And the first place that the eyes went was your photo. The second place the eyes went was your headline. And it's odd because the headline was number 2 place that it went, but it spent 5 times as much time than the photo. And then it went to the summary. So, we talked about some strong components of a strong LinkedIn profile: photo, headline, summary. Your headline is really what is going to draw people in. you're 14 times more likely to be viewed with a photo. So by having a professional photo, people are going to come to your page, they're going to look at your headline, and then they're going to read your summary. And if it's strong and compelling, they're going to stay there, they're going to look at the rest of your profile, and if you can bring value to them through the written word and through PDF files and through YouTube videos and SlideShare, chances are somebody's going to give you a call saying, hey, what can you do to help us solve this problem at our company? What is the most effective way to send communication to all my LinkedIn members? Now, if you're talking about sending a message to your 100, 200, 500, or 1,000 connections on LinkedIn, you can go to the Connections tab on top, and then I think it's Connections, and then you can pull up a list of all your connections. You can go down and select 50, and then click Send a Message, and it'll send a message to those 50 connections. Now, you cannot do this for people that you are not connected to, but you can only do 50 at a time. My suggestion would be really start posting some engaging content on LinkedIn, because by sending a message to, I mean, if you have 1,000 or 2,000 connections, that could take you a while. I don't suggest sending a generic message to all of your connections. Identify the people that you want to reach. Identify a very compelling message to those individuals. And please, if you're going to send out one of those types of messages, on the bottom of the message, it says, hide the other recipients. So it's like doing a BCC message. How can I use social media to reach targeted customers? I'm going to go with, I'm assuming that's targeted prospects? Yeah?
I think that's what they meant. It's targeted prospects, targeted customers that they're looking to, prospects that they're looking to connect with and perhaps bring product information to.
Okay. This is a LinkedIn forum, so to speak, but I think if you do have Twitter, I would suggest linking your Twitter account to your LinkedIn account. So when you do share content on LinkedIn, it also goes to your Twitter account. I've gotten over 200 followers every single month for the last 5 months just by sharing content on LinkedIn. And people finding me, finding what I'm sharing on Twitter, retweeting it, favoriting my tweets, and I've expanded my Twitter followers. I think I had 50 in the 2 years prior to that. So, by sharing relevant content to my network on LinkedIn and then having it go out to Twitter is a great way. Certainly using advanced search on LinkedIn, finding that sweet spot of the type of person you want to reach. If you have a premium subscription, being able to send an email to them. If you don't have a premium subscription, when you do connect with somebody, you don't need InMail to send a message to your first-degree connections. That's a new functionality of LinkedIn. We used to charge you an InMail to send a message. Now, you're not charged any InMails when you send a message to your first-degree connections. Be to the point when you're reaching out to people. Certainly, if they do have their email address listed on their LinkedIn profile, or you're able to find it off of a company page, let them know that you looked at their LinkedIn profile and that there was something about what they said on their LinkedIn profile that inspired you to reach out to them. Or, based on your experience in your job, I wanted to get this information in your hands because this is, important, in my opinion, important to you and how you might proceed for the rest of the year. Be very targeted with your searching. be very targeted with your outreach. You don't want to just start spamming people because, spamming and sending out large amounts of email is kind of like cold calling. It doesn't get results, and nobody likes it.
Right.
So, do we have any more questions? Is that it?
Well, Chris, there were quite a few more, but just in the interest of time, I thought I'll share those with you offline, and perhaps we can send them in the follow-up when I send everybody the replay to this webcast. And I might also mention, first of all, thank you, Chris, for giving us this time for this series of webcasts. The EHBC is, a thought leader, as you know, and we do manage over 30 groups, and, our goal is to bring our reach and our database and our customers, thought leadership from, the leaders like yourself, right from the horse's mouth on how to use a particular product. And in this case, LinkedIn is a huge customer prospecting tool that, we're just really tuned into. And we have customers that join us frequently to partake in reaching our reach. So, that's one of the ways that EHBC has been able to really harness, our reach for our customers. So if I have, a client that's interested in getting a message out, they'll partner with us, and we can share those kinds of messaging. So, it's been a great tool, but more importantly, it's, it is our reach. We can follow our clients, and they can follow us, from association to association. And so it's a great tool, and you've been great. Thank you very much for giving us your time and this series. And, people learned a lot, so we thank you so much. And I will send you those questions, and we'll send out the replay and more answers to questions that we had pre-populated.
And I just wanted to point out, if you see the screen, my headline says Sales Professional, Educator, Challenger of the Status Quo. When I first got to LinkedIn, I was a Enterprise Account Executive, LinkedIn Sales Solutions Financial Services. You tell me what's better. Also, if you go to my page, you'll see my recent activity, and you'll be able to read my post from yesterday. So, once again, Jenny, thank you very much. Thank Jonathan again, and look forward to part view of the webcast with LinkedIn.
Thank you so much, Chris. Have a great rest of your day, and to the rest of you joining us, thank you, and have a wonderful afternoon.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.